which I believe as very, very important, are the need assessment. जरूरत आपकी इकोनॉमी को है, इकोनॉमी को आपकी है। एक तरफा है या दो तरफा है? इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी सेक्टर और इंडियन इकोनॉमी और द ट्रांजिशन गोल ऑफ द नेशन is the need assessment. So first milestone on which I'll be able to speak and do a fair justice. Second is prototyping of your product, your technology, or maybe your solution. How are you going to place your product or technology or solution in market? Third is piloting. It's not only about your product. It's about its financing. It's about its acceptance. It's about its how people are going to take it back in their daily life. And the last, if I will say, is the commercial equivalence. इलेक्ट्रिक मोबिलिटी से पहले, टू व्हीलर थ्री व्हीलर बनने से पहले भी लोग एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जा रहे थे। सो आप कौन सा यूनिक कमर्शियल इक्विवेलेंस ट्रांजिशन के लिए प्लेस कर रहे हो और उसको क्यों रीजनेबली, टेक्निकली, कमर्शियली, फाइनेंशियली किसी को अडॉप्ट करना चाहिए? दैट्स द फोर. So if I will be able to speak and justify these three in next 5-7 minutes, I will believe that what discussion or conversation you people have done over last 2 days would be able to step on that larger path of 2070 net zero transition. And when we say 2070 net zero transition, then I always say that next 2 years, 2025 and 2026, are going to very, very important, very critical. Almost they are going to decide that you are going to get that bus of 2017 net zero decarbonization or you are going to miss that bus. You will ask me why it's so critical. It's so much critical is because in 2026 to 2030, the expected investment to achieve our target or achieve our decarbonization goal of 2070, we would be needing 253 to 263 billion US dollar investment in green economy, in decarbonization. And out of which, if you will look at today's opportunity, then we are sitting at around 44 billion real investment, real attracted investment in green economy against an opportunity of 170 billion US dollar. सो 170 बिलियन डॉलर की मार्केट में से हम सिर्फ 44 बिलियन डॉलर अभी करेंटली अट्रैक्ट कर पाते हैं एज एन इन्वेस्टमेंट, और जरूरत 253 से 263 डॉलर की होगी 2026 से 2030 के बीच में। 2030 के बाद 2050 का एक अलग व्यू है। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने बहुत क्लियरली 35 ट्रिलियन डॉलर मेन स्ट्रीम इकोनॉमी की बात की। विकसित भारत का विकसित तीसरी सबसे बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था would be somewhere around 35 trillion dollar, and out of that 35 trillion dollar, if I do not contemplate 2035 to 2070, then 5 trillion dollar would be your economy, green economy. And this green economy is today the entire mainstream economy. So if you have to create the pathway of policy, financing, regulations, instruments, banking, NBFC, government, state government, central, regulator, each and every stakeholder has to contribute to it. They have to work hand in hand to achieve this dream. And आप कहेंगे कि सर अगर 44 बिलियन अभी हम अट्रैक्ट कर रहे हैं 140 में से, तो 253 अगले 4-5 सालों में कैसे करेंगे? ये बहुत एम्बिशियस है, ये तो होता हुआ ही नहीं दिखता। सो आई एम नॉट हियर टू गिव यू अ negative or positive insight. I am here to give you facts that if you look at next economy of circular economy of the world is 4.5 trillion. And out of that 4.5 ट्रिलियन इकोनॉमी 1% तो इंडिया कम से कम बिल्ड करता होगा। तो 2026 तक अगर हम 1% सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी बिल्ड करते हैं आउट ऑफ द 4.5 ट्रिलियन डॉलर ग्लोबल इकोनॉमी, we will be having 45 billion dollar included into the 44-45 billion which we are attracting today. To reach out to a cumulative, if 2026, why I said 2 years are very, very important, is from 2026 to 2030, if we increase that 1% to 5%, we will be able to together accumulate around 225 billion US dollar only into circular economy in India, which is in and way required against 253. So कितना shortfall रह गया? बहुत minimum shortfall रह गया. And this I'm talking about energy transition in transport. I'm not accounting aviation, chemical, construction, equipment, steel, textile, leather, gas, nothing. I'm just talking about transition, and how do we get it? How do we, achieve it? Is a simple logic. All of these sectors, be it textile, leather, steel, equipment, construction, chemical, aviation, railway, all of them, they have three things common. One, each one of them has a power intake: green power or clean power or fossil fuel power. Second, each one of them has a transition, has a mobility, has a freight. And third, each one of them has an intake of equipment, intake of new infrastructure. So if these are intensely audited, a transition path of businesses are given to all each and every sector, then that economy that makes us energy transition sector to fit their retrofit in the main economy of circular economy. So my definition of circular economy and your usual definition of circular economy is bit different. यूजुअल डेफिनेशन ऑफ सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी इज वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट. यहाँ से कचरा उठाया, वहां प्रोसेस कर दिया, कुछ एनर्जी रिलेट हो गई तो सर्कुलर इकोनॉमी है. आज के वक्त में अगर कोई भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन 20-25 गाड़ियां खरीदती है, 2-4 इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के ऊपर फूल पत्ती लगाती है, कुछ इक्विपमेंट खरीदती है, each one of them, they are a wastage if they are not properly thought, if they are not properly synced and in line with the national transition of $10 trillion green economy. So my definition of circular economy is to audit each and every trail of transition, equipment, vehicle, and each and every decision of, it may be an institutional decision, it may be an individual decision, it may be an organizational decision to buy something or to own something or to take up something. Whether this decision is clean, whether this decision is green, or whether this decision serves the purpose of that way or not. Last is commercial equivalence. So in last 10 years, if you look at the reforms, and if you also look at how PM has responded into India Energy Week, then you will be able to understand the need. जरूरत सिर्फ आपकी नहीं है, इकोनॉमी को भी ट्रांजिशन की उतनी ही जरूरत है, ट्रांजिशन के डीकार्बोनाइजेशन की उतनी ही जरूरत है जितनी हमें सब्सिडी की, टैक्स रिडक्शन की, प्राइस रिडक्शन की, इंफॉर्मेशन की, रेगुलेशंस को डाउनग्रेड करने की जरूरत होती है. एंड why I'm saying जरूरत एक तरफा नहीं है, it's not one-sided, is because when at India Energy Week PM spoke that this is how India is going to do their transition, its transition of mainstream economy into green economy. You have seen census how it has responded. You have seen how private capital has responded. And if really we are going to achieve the dream of Vikasit Bharat, then Vikasit Bharat dream is not about infrastructure, it's not about technology advancement, it's about people. It's about people who are going to have their economy, have their per capita income. Many of you would be knowing what is the per capita income of India today. It's 2100 US dollar. And the benchmark which Prime Minister has set for Viksit Bharat is 15,000 US dollar by 2047. Why 15,000 US dollar is because 12,000 US dollar is today's US per capita of income. So by the time at the 8% growth we will reach in 2047 at 12,000, they will reach at 15,000. So our benchmark is 15,000. so that each one of us, our lifestyles, our health, our economy are evolved and elevated with the country, with the nation. But how do we get it? Is about 17% of our GDP is invested into logistic. It's invested into freight, which has to come down to 7% to 9%. Our 30% of the fossil fuel import bill has to come down to at least 30% of what we are spending today. And going ahead, more of the blended financing, more of the private capital who will be able to come and uphold this transition. So, reaching on the last part of where we are going to do the greenwash. I don't know how many of you know or not, but 3 days back, Government of India has asked to give suggestions to differentiate between greenwash and actual transition on energy and circularity. So no more green color, no more green lanyards, no more, misleading Vigyapan giving that I am green, I am fossil fuel, I am circular. Each and every businesses will have to audit themselves. And I'm personally meeting many of the sector, their representatives, to make sure that if a company, organization, or a corporate does something, then they do it for real, not for the purpose of. And by March, I think government will bring the guideline also. So why it is important for us to focus on next 2 years is because this is the time to change सोच or approach dono. Over a period of last 10 years, lot of thing which has happened, like I would be able to only name two three, is procurement model, financing model, the way we used to look at basic funding infrastructure have changed over a period of time. And if I remember right, in 2019-20, I was given a target that electric mobility infrastructure sector is not fundable. And I said I will be able to bring EV infrastructure on a profitable note, a priority lending. लोगों ने कहा सर प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी नहीं है, ब्लेंडिंग फाइनेंसिंग नहीं है, गवर्नमेंट कहती है कि देंगे सब्सिडी बट सबको मिलती नहीं है. How are we going to do it? How are we going to get it? In 2019 and 2020 and 21, only two highways, if Ms. Mona would be able to run to it, we have done two technical trials to give a confidence to the electric mobility infrastructure financing sector by making sure that each and every vehicle which is running on highway, if they shut down between two cities on highway, within 30 minutes, they are getting a backup. They are getting a possibility of technical backup. Within 30% utilization, each and every fleet operator who is buying a fleet with National Highway EV will be able to run across their fleet by paying only 70% of the cost. Last is 30% utilization. All of you know EV utilization, charging utilization is between 3% to 5%. So in this, there is a 30% utilization of each and every charging asset from day one. And not least is nobody knew कि चार्जिंग स्टेशन कितना कमाती है. एवरीबडी न्यू पेट्रोल पंप कैसे बनता है, कौन उसको फाइनेंस करता है, कितनी कमाई उससे होती है. Nobody knew that charging station earns a break even into 36 to 40 months. So that's the last. And the next is in 2022, when we did Delhi and Jaipur, we managed to bring comparison between you are traveling in an electric bus and you are traveling in a diesel bus, almost half of the cost. You are going from Delhi to Jaipur in an Innova, paying 12,000 rupees, and you are going from Delhi to Jaipur in Tata MG in 4,200 rupees. You are building a highway in India, electric highway, without having a special vehicle to touch the cable overhead wires at a cost of 1 crore rupees per kilometer, in comparison to what Germany has built, 24 crore rupees per kilometer. So with this, I would say that the time to change the approach, thought, and the funding model, also the blended financing. Why I said that I took this target head on to work on the blended financing in last 2 years, to give people an insight that it would be possible to uphold around 5,500 kilometer of e-highway from Delhi to Kanyakumari on that complete Bharat Mala and Sagar Mala without a single rupee taken from Government of India. If there are PSUs who are taking highways and stations, they are not taking because we have asked them a grant. They would be taking is because it is profitable, most profitable for them of whatever asset they are owning in last 10 year of transition from 2014 to 2024. And each one of them, they are equipped with fuel like hydrogen, green fuel, ethanol, and many more to come. So the infrastructure remain agnostic. And to fund this, if you want to know the interest rate, for 12 months, what interest HDFC has given is 0% interest. So over a period of 12 months, when we are doing construction, we don't pay any interest in that period. We only pay an interest once stations are active and they are working on the ground. So with this, I will just reach to what we all started and where we wanted to reach is a confident on the trajectory of what you are doing is depending on next 2 years how you create an concrete pathway of each and every sector of economy to transit from what they are doing now and what they will be able to do in next 2 years as an best possible alternative for all businesses in terms of transport, in terms of uh, power, in terms of what product they are procuring. So with this, I wish all of you a very compliment and very best going ahead, and invite uh, MC to call more of our speakers so that we can take this conversation ahead. Thank you. Jai Bharat. Jai Hind.